The Whoop 4.0 has been my daily driver fitness tracker since the 3.0, but recently I bought the Apple Watch Ultra, and honestly, it's kind of blowing my mind. But is it gonna take over for my 4.0? That's in today's video. What's up, superhumans? BT here. The Apple Watch Ultra is pretty insane. Let's be real, it's a freaking supercomputer that you wear on your wrist. And because of the infinite possibilities that is the App Store and all the apps you can download, well, you can do anything your heart desires. Or can it? Can it replace my Whoop 4.0 as my daily driver fitness tracker? No. And here's why. Here are the 5 reasons why the Whoop 4.0 absolutely crushes the Apple Watch Ultra. Probably the greatest strength of the Whoop 4.0 is the app. Whoop has taken out all of the confusion of figuring out what your metrics mean. It's true, on the Apple Health app, you can see things like your heart rate, your resting heart rate variability, calories burned, etc. But it doesn't tell you what it means. It doesn't coach you as to whether or not you should be getting more or less sleep, or what you should change pre-sleep to improve your sleep. It doesn't tell you whether your resting heart rate and your HRV score from the night before means you could have a great day of training or a bad day of training. But Whoop does. It breaks all of those numbers down into 3 easy to digest scores. But if scores are hard, well, then it gives you colors, green, yellow, and red. That's elementary shit right there. And honestly, that's where it can end, if you want it to. But if you want it to go further, it can. You can break down all of those numbers even further, even comparing all of those metrics to your last 7 days, or to your last month, or see all of your months since you've been a member. And for me, that's 36 months worth of data. Let's say I was in peak condition in December of 2020. I don't know why it would be 2020, I just made a number up. I can go into my log and look at all of the behaviors that contributed to why I felt so good that month. That makes it so much more repeatable. I could just say, hey, these are the things that I did. All I gotta do is just do that over again. Which brings me to the next best thing about the app, and that's the journal. Whoop does it better than anybody else of figuring out what behaviors are contributing to you trending up or down. Every morning when you wake up, you're going to be given a survey, a little questionnaire, which you can customize. You can make it as big or as small as you want it to be. But basically, it's gonna run through a gamut of questions asking you, did you do a behavior? And those behaviors are going to contribute to your recovery. For example, if you look at mine, one of them says, did you have caffeine? If so, how many servings? And when was the last serving? Did you get a massage? Did you go through cryotherapy? Did you follow a paleo diet? But there's more, and this is something that I really appreciate that Whoop does and nobody else does, and that is mental health check. It'll ask you things like, do you feel a sense of purpose in your life? Are you expressing gratitude? Are you doing a journal of gratitude? This is the stuff almost no other brand does, and nobody does anywhere near as good as Whoop. I love the Apple Watch. I think it's great. I love the fact that I can go in and choose from a host of different workouts. But do you want to know what's cooler than that? Not choosing at all. That's right. Wouldn't you want a fitness tracker that just tracked everything for you and you never had to log anything? Well, the Whoop 4.0 does just that. It detects all of your activities, and it even knows what activity you did. It can differentiate between activities. Here's where it gets crazy though. I've had it differentiate between wrestling and jiu-jitsu, even though both classes were jiu-jitsu. Let me further explain. In one session, I focused on takedowns, lots of takedowns. That was something I wanted to work on leading up to World Champs. And it categorized it as a wrestling workout, not jiu-jitsu. In a normal jiu-jitsu class, I would be playing a lot more guard. It was able to figure out the difference between them and accurately separate that. And I would definitely categorize that former session as more of like a wrestling workout.
In Into the unknown, you'll want the battery to last for days. That's why Ultra was built with a larger battery for multi-day use on a single charge.
Probably the best and biggest news about the Apple Watch Ultra is simply its battery life. It's so much better than it used to be. However, it's still not as good as the Whoop. That's not the biggest deal. The biggest deal is simply in how you charge both of these. With the Apple Watch Ultra, I've got to take it off my wrist and put it on the charger. Whoop went about this a completely different way and honestly kind of revolutionized the whole charging process. Instead, you have a battery puck that you charge and you slip on to the Whoop when it needs to be charged. It never has to come off, even in the shower, because it's waterproof. And you can buy a few of these, have them all charged up, so you've always got one on the ready. The single reason I tried Whoop in the first place was because of its form factor. The Apple Watch is great, and it's really cool that you can do so many different workouts and so many types of things with it. However, if you do a lot of weightlifting, especially kettlebells, it can actually get in the way. One time I was doing some kettlebell snatches and I totally forgot I had this on, and the weight smashed the screen and I had to go and get it replaced. Just a massive inconvenience. So even now, like the other day, I was doing some kettlebell stuff and I was having to like flip this around, and with a Whoop, because of the form factor and it being so much thinner, I don't run into that issue. The real reason I got a Whoop is because I couldn't use this for jujitsu. This thing could seriously tear up somebody's face if you were to hit them with it. You could damage somebody's eye or something.
Right here. Not here or here so much, but right here.
And so even though I really like this, the most important training I was doing during the day, the most important data I wanted to track was from jujitsu, and this couldn't do it. So my only option was a Whoop, because I could put it in that neoprene sleeve. It was padded. I had no problems wearing it. I would never injure somebody. But now Whoop's gone a step further, and they've got the Whoop bodyline. Basically, it's a bunch of clothing that gives you a ton of different options as to where you want to wear your Whoop. I've got some boxers, I can put it in there and it kind of sits along my hip. We've also got leggings, so like if you wanted to wear it on the side of your calf. For guys, they've got a compression top, you can wear it right next to your sleeve. Essentially, you've got two options that I've seen with an Apple Watch, on your wrist or your bicep. And depending on the kind of activities you do, those options are options you can't take. Is the Whoop a subscription? Yes, but here's why that can actually be a good thing. The Apple Watch, however, is $799, and that is a lot of money. Let's say you're trying to make some simple improvements on your life as like a self-experiment. I'd ask you, is that experiment gonna take 3 years? Probably not. And for that reason, you could sign up for Whoop. As little as a month-to-month basis, like if you wanted to run this experiment for 3 to 6 months, great. If you wanted it for something longer, like a year, well then you could sign up for a year and save even more money. About as half as much as an Apple Watch Ultra. Oh, plus there's this, you can actually get a Whoop for free. I don't think you can do that with the Apple Watch unless it's called robbery. So the big question you probably have is, which one do I go with then? And I'll say it depends. But before I give you the definitive answer, I want some more time with the Apple Watch Ultra. That way I can give it a fair shake. So when that video does come out, make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell down there next to it so you'll get notified when that video comes out. And do me a huge favor, hit the like button while you're down there. If you thought this video was helpful or entertaining, or hit the thumbs down if you thought it sucked. We're good either way. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.